Hey guys, here's Groot. And we're going to talk about some typical greetings that I see owners do and people do. They go in right in for the head. They're excited. Such a sweet, cute dog. But it's a big no-no a lot of times. And then it creates this craziness. You don't want to represent excitement too often with your dog. And my tone doesn't even sound serious, especially for a dog like Groot, who's very needy and struggles with some anxiety. And then you can't influence your dog when you need to because they just don't believe you. So I'm going to give them a little bit of time to settle. And then I come back in and I just pause. Just my presence is just calm and no nonsense. Then I go to sit and I pause. I do the same thing. Now, if a dog is being pushy or acting kind of high-strung or has some issues with anxiety here like Groot, we don't let them come into our space. So even here, I like that he didn't try to enter into my space. He has to wait till I invite him over or start to, interact with him. It's just a much better boundary for the dog. It really can help them with these types of issues. He gets a little too excited here, probably from earlier too, testing him out. So I just did a little bit of leash pressure before I went back in. And I was playing around with some pats. A lot of times patting him gets him amped up. So I was just mixing it with scratches, trying to teach him that just because I pat him, it doesn't mean to go crazy. So I was working with him a little bit on that. But you can do one of two things. You can call your dog over to you and share this with them and then send them back to place, or go to place or their downstay and work with them, give them affection in that type of setting, but mix it up. Sometimes call them over, invite them over. Sometimes you go to them and make sure they're calm before you share affection with them. You're going to see a variety with a few different dogs in these clips. And just right there, I always pause before I walk away. Super important. Okay, so this dog, another crazy dog. This is an example of how important leashing up a dog is and how important transitions are. So this is me coming in hot and excited and yay, Luna, what a good girl. And she is wild, right? But it's really not fair because then you have to tell your dog no. You have to settle them down. You can't leash them up. And it's what you represent with them. Even if you don't represent it in that moment, you might have a lot throughout the day. And so it kind of makes it unfair for them. You want to represent calm. So I changed my body language up. You don't want to be angry. You just want to be assertive, very matter of fact. Right there, I just tried to tug her collar, but she was still just so excited. I just stood back up straight. And that worked really nicely. Now, by transitions, I mean from when a dog is in a stationary command to a movement command. Okay. This is a big no.
Let's go. Yeah.
If you have a dog that struggles with arousal, you want to practice your transitions slowly. She did that because of my energy. But she's just an excited dog. So I'm going to have to repeat this over and over until she calmly walks with me. Stationary command to moving command. And once she can do it calmly, then we're ready for our walk or whatever it is we're doing. It's the same if you're going out the front door, back door, people come over and your dog hops out of place, all these things. If you struggle with behavioral or excitement or arousal issues, you have to focus on your transitions all the time. Not just when, it matters and you have that guest over or see that dog. Now I'm showing this on repeat real quick. Long pause before I give the down or the place command. And then it's a slow get up, turn around, pause again. So I want them to have, I actually rushed this a little. I want them to have a long, 3 to 10 count in the stationary command. And then when we move nice and slow. And then we have another long pause before the next command. This is critical when trying to do that meditation to calm your dog down. Okay, just to show you guys, moving on to how she handles being pet in place. So I go extra slow with her, using my fingertips for pressure and scratches. and she does quite well. Except she tries to follow me right here, but she dramatically lays back down, has that tail wagging. So if I went in to pet her again, I wouldn't do it till that tail totally calmed down. So just little things to keep in mind with the more higher energy dogs. Okay, so Astro is a little calmer, but can be quite pushy. So don't do this. Do not do this the majority of the time. You're watching your tone of voice and the way that you pet the face and just the way that you're interacting with your dog. Because at the end of the day, it's what do you mostly represent to your dog? That way of sharing affection should be such a tiny percentage, and sometimes not at all, depending on the dog and the behavioral issues of the dog. Plus, it just makes it so difficult for your dog to follow your instruction when needed. And it creates entitlement, pushy, insecure dogs, needy dogs. It's really tough. So he put his paw on me right there. I just bumped him off since I got him all excited. And he can be quite pushy husky mix. And so it's like, don't touch me till I'm ready. Then I went in. Just calm scratches along the neck. Then I can work my way up to the head, especially with a dog that is calmer, more confident dog. And I'm just moving slowly. And I say very little. And if I do say something, it's more to soothe. It's calm. It's confident. That's a big one, calm and confident. And it's just massage, scratches, very little flat-handed petting. And then I always stand really still, make sure the dog is settled before I move away. These little things can make such a huge difference in your relationship with your dog, where you can still share affection, but what do you really represent to your dog? Really think about these things if you're struggling with some behavioral issues at home.